Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. I had to organize my makeup really quick. Put that in there. Okay, so now that we're ready. Pisces, this reading is for you, Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, also for your cross watchers, also for people who just really are here resonating regardless of what your sign is. All right, so shoot. Let's get started. There's a lot of confusion going on for Pisces. There's a lot of regret. Maybe you're realizing that you are very unreasonable in in the way you approached something. Maybe that something has to do with an individual that hurt your feelings, an individual that, or a circumstance that really just, because of your expectations. Pisceans, we have a tendency to romanticize even abusive circumstance. Okay, we have a tendency to really romanticize it. We have a tendency to romanticize our martyrdom. This doesn't make us bad people. It just makes it necessary for us to really be aware of what we're doing to ourselves. Okay, no more looking outside of you as a causation for something that you're struggling through. What decisions, actions, or lack thereof did you make in order for this to happen? This is not about blame. This is about recognizing the patterns, the behavioral patterns, the patterns of what you choose. Because until you do that, you're going to continue to repeat the same cycles. And it's going to be something you'll struggle through, something that will really continue to hurt you. Okay? And if you don't want to hurt, then you have to take, for example, if you keep injuring your back because of poor ergonomics, poor posturing, you keep lifting with your back instead of with your legs, it would be good to know that, right? So you can avoid getting further injured. It would be good to know why you keep being injured. And if it's something that you're doing, then, knowing what you are doing will keep you from doing it again, and thus further injuring yourself. So that's what these talks are about. It's never really about blame. It's never really about how you're messing up. But I can't control how you interpret what I say. Okay? So for some of us, you're going to feel like, oh, you're never on my side, Emmie. But that's the thing. I recognize there are no sides. There isn't. There's no sides. All right. So, ooh, that's deep. Michael wanted me to bring up that if you feel that way, like, oh, you're never on my side, I mean, why do you keep coming back? So then that is and not that I don't want you to come back, but that would be another indicator of how you choose to continue to expose yourself to things that hurt you unnecessarily, right? Because if you're not receiving any kind of clarity with what I'm saying, regardless of how I deliver it, why keep coming back? So that applies to your entire life. Your entire life. I used to do that thing where, you hurt me, I still keep coming back. Well, because I don't want to abandon you. I don't want you to feel like I don't care. I don't want this. I don't want that. And at no point does what I want or not want have anything to do with my stability, my happiness, any of that. So if those are things that you're doing, you have to be accountable for that. Okay, you have to hold yourself accountable. All right, here we go. Hold on. Okay, I gotta just hurry and do this. We gotta make breakfast. We gotta do vitals. We gotta change stuff. Do all that really quick. Okay. So here goes. Card number 20, alliance. I think yourself and soul need to make an alliance with each other. I think your allegiance needs to be removed, revoked from people who are continuing to hurt your feelings. If that allegiance to the self is what's causing you to continue to hurt your feelings, I'm wondering if the self has been like breached. I'm wondering if the self is not balanced, if you need to do that internal work. Sorry, guys. So the dreamer, embrace your true purpose, begin a new adventure, trust yourself. If what you know your purpose to be right now has too much pain in it because it requires, from what you believe, it requires the presence of specific individuals. I don't know if that's really your purpose. Some of us, our purpose does require the presence of someone else, someone outside of us, but that's not very common. It's really not very common. Too many of us believe so wholeheartedly that we can't progress forward without the presence of someone else, whether that be a romantic partner, a business partner, a divine counterpart. I stand as testament to tremendous amounts of growth in the absence of a divine counterpart. You know, I grew myself. Granted, interactions with a divine counterpart that were hurtful triggered a lot of my processes, but they didn't have to remain present in order for me to process. Okay, so you have to really make sure. You have to really make sure that you're honoring what your process and your needs are. Sometimes people will be brought to you to trigger your growth, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're supposed to stay the whole time. So let's see, card number 11, diving for light. I'm wondering if there's going to be another. So I heard round and recall. It's like you're calling something back to you. What you're calling back to you, for some of us, it might be an individual. It might be like this repeat of something. Yeah, there's like some really fucking disruptive ass energy. It's like a really yucky energy. So the diving for light, this requires some sort of communication. The throat has been so heavily armored, and that armor is keeping out the very things that are needing to kind of flow through. The things that are needing to flow through have nothing to do with toxicity. Okay. This feels like there is something or someone very, very toxic that's attempting to take advantage of the fact that there's an opening within your space. I think this opening within your space might be a result of you rejecting or ignoring or has to do with like the absence of a twin. Okay. I'll be nice. Okay. So card number 6, the dream. Okay. So this is two-pronged. I don't know if this is a reading for me or what, but this is two-pronged. There's one who is a divine counterpart, and there's another one who wants to force their way through, and I don't know what they want to do. It's like a nasty, ridiculously nasty energy. Okay. If you feel like your twin is toxic, they're supposed to be mirrors of you, right? They are our mirror. So either they're reflecting our own toxicity back to us, or that's not your actual like twin. Okay. So there's a dream of some sort of reconciliation. This card comes with it like some really weird, like it's just a really weird, yucky energy. I'm familiar with this energy. It's just disgusting. This has nothing to do with a twin, this energy. It's someone that's trying to come in. They're really, really like, it's a crazy energy. I don't mean like crazy good power. No, like insanity, delusion. Um, it's a very diseased type of energy. You guys have heard me talk about diseased energy. Yeah, no, this one seeks to corrupt your understanding of yourself. Again, this is not a twin energy. This is not a twin energy. So this energy needs to be removed from you. It needs to be pushed away and removed. They're going to keep at it, keep at it. Okay. Card number 3, detox. Cleanse and restore yourself. Remove the access to you. Okay. Remove the access to you. Ooh, that's deep, Michael. Michael says, for some, we need to remove the access, obviously. But Michael says to me, stop allowing any of that to be your focus, because the reality is the source of diseased energy is weak. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes when you give more attention to it and react to it, it encourages the disease to continue growing. Okay. Because of the distortions with diseased energies, any type of acknowledgement or attention causes the individual to think like, oh, more, I have to access more. Now they're really noticing. I mean, as much as specific individuals would like to think I'm sensing their energy because they are diseased energy, it's actually the demonic presence of your energy that I'm sensing. Like, you're now inconsequential. Michael's telling me you're inconsequential, irrelevant, inconsequential. I no longer have to have even the littlest bit of response or reaction to the energy. So, wow. He's letting you know that sometimes this type of thing needs to be allowed to be felt. There's no breaching of my space or any of your spaces. It's just this like sickening awareness, like, ew. And that has to do with you recognizing. That has to do with you having, I guess, like the opportunity to experience something to further be aware. Okay. All right. So, High Priestess of Spirit, card number 7. High Priestess of Spirit. This tells me that creation is really, really recognizing how potent you actually are. It's time for you to completely stop with seeking answers and proof outside of yourself. I think this has a lot to do with like difficulty in trusting your intuition, difficulty in this, difficulty in that. A lot of it has to do with trust, difficulty in trusting yourself. This is being allowed, whatever this is for you, whatever the struggle is, however it's presenting itself, it's being allowed so you can begin learning your intuition, learning how deeply you can trust that intuition. Okay. This is interesting. Okay. Card number 31, miracles. Thank you, Wicked Love Media. So miracles are things that you still have to allow space to manifest in your life. So when you're too busy, too caught up with distractions, attempts to access you with force. You're taking up too much space to allow miracles through. So demonic presence in your life really, it's not to punish you. It's not because you're weak. It's not any of that. It's really to trigger a process of learning. This learning is very, very profound learning whenever demonic things are involved in it. And I'm not talking about you conjuring, calling to you demonic things. I'm talking about parasitic attempts to access you, access your field, control your journey. Whenever those types of things are involved, you can rest assured this is about to be a very, very powerful lesson. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I submit. I submit. I will stop. You have to recognize when it's time to stop fighting your own process. You have to recognize when you're identifying a specific individual to you have to recognize when you're basically blaming another person for your own process. Your struggle with your process is always due to your refusal to learn what your soul is teaching you. So fine. I willingly submit to soul. Okay, I willingly submit. Yes. So, Ace of It's time to take action. Be fearless and happily pursue your most treasured dreams, amazing career opportunities. So, whatever your soul purpose is, it is your soul's career. This is a beautiful opportunity for you to take action on your purpose. What your purpose is, I don't know. That's going to be different for everybody. But I'm pretty sure that your purpose, achieving your purpose, has nothing to do with continuing to allow another to distract you from your purpose. Okay? So, why do I have to say that in a live stream, though? That's like really personal. That's like really personal. No, it's not like that I'm embarrassed or ashamed. It's that and I know there are those who watch and they like to try and I was going to say, try and use what I say in general terms to justify their toxic pursuit of me. And then Michael says to me, did we not just talk about not even factoring that in? Did we not just talk about not allowing any of that disease energy to be any part of consideration for what your path is? Card number 8, be the hunter, not the hunted. Allow yourself to receive. Okay? Allow yourself to receive the messages, the support, the connections. So what Michael wants me to say, make a statement of, if there are connections that are being reestablished on a soul level, like a very cognitive, thank you, Harriet, like a very conscious connection that's being reestablished by your soul with another soul. He wants me to state the obvious. I will no longer be combative, at least for now. I won't be combative. I won't be malicious. I will be open to conversing about whatever needs to be conversed about. And this goes beyond just like specifically if a twin flame, twin ray were to message me, I won't be like, fuck you, block. I don't know how anyone would message me though, because everything's blocked. I was just saying, I'm not opposed. You need to get creative in how that will happen. Okay, so Panacea, there's a solution for every problem. And that's the thing. There's a solution for every problem, yet we continue to tie ourselves to the weight of what the problem actually is. There is no problem. There really isn't. When you allow yourself to just simply acknowledge what needs your acknowledgement and allow yourself to move forward, implementing a solution, there is no problem. The problem is in how you choose to view whatever challenges are in front of you. How are you going to view it? Is it a problem, or is the problem your perception of what this challenge is? Because every challenge is actually challenging you to grow in the ways that challenge is needing to be solved. So, case in point, Michael says, one of my primary challenges is connectivity. It's extremely hard for me to connect with people. It's extremely hard for me to allow connections to go beyond a certain point because of the history of my soul. Now, the reason this is a challenge for me is because this is the thing that needs to be worked on. This is the thing that really, really needs my attention. It really, really needs me to go ahead and allow myself to trust the will of my soul and basically not be opposed to conversation. And I'm not opposed to conversation. The confidence. So card number 42, confidence. A lot of the things that people struggle with have so much to do with a lack of confidence with yourself. Sometimes that lack of confidence expresses itself as like fear that you don't have any control, fear of being helpless in the face of something else. Like, I'm fully aware that the history of my soul and the twin ray, there's like no control. They've always very easily dominated me and gotten their way, and I just do whatever, like, okay, that's what you want. Okay. So I'm wondering if part of what's going on is like my fear that will be repeated again in this life. But here's the thing, the confidence card. So here's my higher self. Here's my conscious mind. Horses have so many mental prisons. I mean, could you imagine an animal that powerful? You can take their lead and just wrap it around a twig and they're in prison. They're not going to, it would take probably a full-on meltdown freak out for that horse to yank its head up and pull on that lead. Like, horses, once they're broken in, that means their confidence in themselves is broken. So here's your higher self trying to reassure that horse of yours, you don't have to freak out. You don't have to be afraid. A lot of these mental constructs, these assumptions of what the connection is and how it's going to play out in this life, a lot of it is kind of just self-imposed. A lot of it is just like, it's your own assumption that's working against you. So now, now you have to just be patient with yourself. Allow yourself to become patient with your process, with your learning. Allow yourself to just be patient. Not with someone else. I'm not talking about be patient as you wait for someone else to come and, I don't know, do whatever they're going to do. Be patient with yourself. You're still in the process of learning and remembering this is not the same life as before. The things that you've struggled through with whoever it is, this is like a divine counterpart. This is a life where you can rebalance that. This is a life where you can totally create beautiful balance. It's not a life necessarily that requires romance, but it's a life where if you're going to balance out previous karmic load, you need to be present in each other's journey. You can't do it from afar. Because the things that need to be resolved within a human consciousness, you have to be present. You have to. There's just no way around it. But again, it's important for us to recognize that presence does not indicate romantic connection. There's a huge difference between the two. Okay. Uh, okay. I don't know. That was a weird message. My phone went off and Michael says, you should look at that. And it was from this one credit monitoring thing. And it says, learn how to properly use the dispute tool. What are you trying to dispute? Like, are you trying to dispute something with your soul? Or are you trying to do some sort of dispute? Like, I don't know. That's funny though. Card number 3, water. You have to allow yourself to flow. Stop putting yourself in beautiful vases, because that vase, it's still a containment unit. Okay? Are you trying to contain yourself? Sometimes when you experience elevated levels of self-doubt, elevated levels of fear, you will try and contain yourself to protect yourself. For some of us, the truth of a TF or a TR connection is that you're safe, even in toxic cycles. You're still safe. You're safe. But this has to be the real one. Too often we mislabel people just because we're so eager to experience the spiritual adulthood. We then make it our goal to do what children do, which is copy adults. You have to stop trying to be an adult soul if you are still in a toddler consciousness. That is where much of your struggle will stem from. It's like when toddlers try to use the stove because they watch their parent cook often and they want to be a cook too. I remember my niece, oh my gosh, she's so fucking adorable. She was like 3 and she pushed the bar stool to the stove because she wanted to cook as well. And this is a gas stove. She knew how to turn on the burner. And she was just like leaning forward, stirring a pot. Her mom caught her, must have beat her. No, she didn't beat her. She got spanked though in the hands. Bad, don't ever do that. I was like, holy shit. Oh my God. But that's because she wanted to emulate. There's nothing wrong with wanting to do what you admire. But the freaking potentiality of being irreparably harmed by that is very elevated. This is what happens. That elevated potential for harm, irreparable harm, is what we face when we are so eager to label someone as a twin. That's what happens. That's what happens. Yeah. I mean, I have never in my life been in so much denial about someone's identity and purpose in my life as I have with this person. It's been a few years. It's been a few years that I've been like, they gotta be a demon. They got to totally be a demon. There's no way. This is demonic shit. But I also said that about Michael. For much of my life, I've asked him if he was a demon. So, card number 25, meditation. These look like 2 different hands for some reason, like 2 people holding hands. So meditation, the whole purpose of meditation is to find or create stillness within yourself. When you find that, you'll see there's never been a separation. It's always been a connectivity that's existed between the 2 of you. So Well, if you consider their thinking evil, you probably are not an old soul. And I'm not trying to put you down, but old souls, they have a tendency to no longer subscribe to the good and evil thought patterns of humans. It's more of like, okay, well, this type of behavior is trying to teach me this. That type of behavior is trying to teach me that. So it's no longer like it's less likely for older souls to use labels to explain who and what they are. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, card number 8, traveling. So you're over here traveling through the valleys of your heart's oceans. These are low points, okay? Not only are you traveling through the valleys, you're about to find a trench. This trench is where a lot of truths are hidden. Truths about yourself, truths about other people, truths about connectivity. It's just a lot of information that's being hidden away from you. And it's not being hidden away from you by something outside of yourself. This is you hiding it from yourself. You have to make sure you are in full observation mode. Okay, it's time for you to observe where your mind goes. It's time for you to observe how you react or respond, the thoughts that rise up from certain types of connections, certain types of disappointments, certain types of perceived separations. Like, what is this? What is this? For example, once I walk away from someone, like, I tend to not ever think of them again. Like, it's just, I'm done with that, so I'm just moving forward. And if I were to allow myself, to really, really become fully present in the way I react to certain types of connections, like the fact that it's still a topic to me, the fact that I'm still years later trying to process, rationalize, I'm still questioning and questioning and questioning, looking for events, signs, omens, other people's words to kind of verify and justify these assumptions that I keep trying to jump to. That tells me that that's not an insignificant connection. Whether they're present or not, that's not an insignificant connection. That is something very profound. And maybe I'm just not emotionally or mentally prepared yet, mature enough yet to really process what the heck that was. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about romance. I'm talking about deep soul connectivity. It's just one of those things. If it keeps coming up, and it's been years, and you're the type of person that's able to just cut it off, close the door, deadbolt it, I'm done, then that's definitely something you have to take into consideration. Like, why does this keep coming up? Okay. Princess of Spring, optimistic, enthusiastic, creative, and energetic. It's time to go after your dreams. Do something that expands your horizons. Let your creativity take flight. So it's time. It's time to take action. What you're going to take action on, I don't know. It's definitely something that it needs to be a creative approach. I'm wondering if this message is for you, or this message is for another person who is going to I don't know, maybe share some sort of connection with you for the first time ever, or revisit a former connection. I don't know if that makes sense. Card number 14, let love grow. Seeds were planted a long time ago. I don't know who planted the seeds or what these seeds are, but seeds were planted a long time ago, and you need the love for those seeds to grow. Okay. Love from both the masculine and the feminine. If one is refusing to acknowledge, that seed will not grow. And that's what I'm being told. So if you're going to try and establish enough love within yourself to grow something that needs two people, that's not going to work. So if you keep trying at a connection because you've identified the individual as your twin, is not going to work unless they're in agreement and alignment, which if they're not the true individual, then it's not going to work. It's not going to work. Okay. Oh, so the meditation. I said this card already. It's when you create that stillness, because what's meditation but a release of like old distortions. When you release those old distortions, you stop throwing pebbles into your pond. Whenever you throw a pebble into your pond where you become combative with your own process, you allow yourself to be distracted by other people's demonic shit. It creates ripples in the water, and that takes time for the ripples to kind of calm down and completely disappear, calming the surface of the water. This meditation is about, calming the surface of your water. Hold on. Okay, I almost fell off the massage table. Okay, here we go. Card number 7, legacy of light. You come from a legacy of light. It's time for you to remember that light of yours. It's time for you to really, really allow yourself to rise up from the toddlerhood and go towards the adulthood of your consciousness. This is something that needs to happen in order for you to be able to be prepared for the next step of your journey. Okay. Oh, I need time. Hold on. I'm going to pull 2 cards from here, and then I have to get going. I have to do all the vitals and medicines and sessions. All right. Oh. Oh, okay. Okay, so here goes. You're at a point where you have to make a decision. Okay? Make a decision. Just make a decision. You're going to pick one or the other. Are you going to pick an earthly decision or one that's more celestial? Earth, celestial. Earth, celestial. Which one is it? And once you make that decision, new possibilities and new experiences are presented to you. Okay? This is a garden in full bloom. It is a garden in full bloom. And this blooming only occurs if the decision is in alignment with what the truth is for you and everyone else involved. Okay? So in order for that alignment to occur, there has to be conversation that takes place, either on a soul level or literally there's a conversation that's needing to take place. So recap. We're no longer going to concern ourselves in any way, shape, or form with the behaviors and attempts of others to really affect your journey. If you don't value their input, there's no need to even acknowledge it, okay? In whatever way, shape, or form. And this might be like you're acknowledging it by maybe complaining to other friends, or you're making it publicly known, you're posting things. Like they don't even matter like that, okay? If they don't even matter like that, don't react, don't respond. It's just like, like they don't exist. Because really within your space, within your truth, they don't. They're not a part of that. It's a distraction, okay? Secondly, no more fighting your own process. No more denying and closing off pathways for specific thought forms to take place, specific connections. Michael says to say it again. Fine, I submit. I'm tapping out. I've tapped out. I'm done fighting. Okay? But I often say that and I go back to fighting. So, all right. Okay. I got to get going. Thank you guys so much for sharing this space with me. Please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, Please do subscribe, turn on the notification bell, join me when I'm live. Also, I'll be live again later today to do other readings. I'm gonna try and fit everything in, but I gotta get going. I hope you have an amazing, amazing rest of your day. Bye, guys.